Hello, I'm Ruben Barron. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Needham, Massachusetts, so I go to school here at Annandale-on-Hudson and at Bard College, and I am going to be king of the nerds. I have various geeky and or nerdy interests. Yes, I tend to use geek and nerd kind of interchangeably. I guess geeks has a bit more of a simply obsessive quality to it, whereas nerd also implies some level of social awkwardness, which can be true of me sometimes, but I'm interested in various subjects which appeal to geeks and nerds, such as anime and animation, film in general. I hope to be a screenwriter. Really would be nice to work at Pixar someday. That would be awesome. And I'm also into science fiction. I like comics. I don't play a lot of video games, but I enjoy the video games I do play. I'm a Nintendo gamer. I've been to Anime Boston every year since 2005, and for the past 2 years I've been in charge of several panels at Anime Boston. And last year I ran a panel on censorship in anime and one on anime in Hollywood, and this year I did a follow-up on the censorship panel, and they did a Judaism and anime panel to go along with Passover, because the convention overlapped with the holiday this year. Here I've also been in charge of video programming at the BosCon Sci-Fi Convention in Boston. It's a smaller convention, and I've been in charge of scheduling and organizing video programming, mostly anime, but some American cartoons and a little live action, whatever we're able to get the rights to show. I've been to New York Comic Con on 2 separate occasions. That was fun. I cosplay. I go to cosplay meetups and stuff. I don't have any of my costumes with me at the moment, but I've had some fun cosplaying. I graduated from Needham High School last year, and now I'm a freshman at Bard College. It's soon to be a sophomore, and I'm planning on majoring in the film department, and I've been enjoying school a lot. I have a 3.5 GPA so far, and I like my classes. I was the video manager of my high school anime club, and also in high school I was the chief executive of Monsters in the World Domination Club, which was exactly what it sounds like. It was a club where we talked about how to dominate the world, and we looked at both historical dictators and fictional megalomaniacs who try to take over the world, and it was fun. I should actually bring that back for college. That would be cool. And currently in college, I'm a member of the anime club and the comic club. The essay that actually got me accepted into college, the prompt was to write about a serious, life-changing event, and I decided to write about the time when Cartoon Network started airing live-action programming, because that did not make sense, and that was when I realized that not everything in life made sense. I'm very talented with writing, and I'm also improving at drawing. I'm taking a drawing class. I have an amazing memory for random trivia and song lyrics and such. Why are nerds ascendant? Well, haven't we ascended already? I mean, everyone's using gadgets built by nerds, and Avengers is the top movie in America at the moment I'm filming this, so yeah, I think we've already sort of started taking over. I don't know if everyone knows we've taken over, but we kind of have. Favorite comic book hero? Funny how you phrased that question, because you didn't say favorite superhero, you said favorite comic hero, so I can name comic book characters who are not technically superheroes, but are heroic and are from comics, so I can name them and say that they're my favorites, because they are. Okay, so Princess Nausicaa from Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, and also Kenshin Himura from Rurouni Kenshin, and Batman. Of course, everyone loves Batman, but not the goddamn Batman. Do nerds have the right to brag? Well, I guess in some cases they do. I mean, if they're excelling at something, and a lot of nerds do excel at one thing or another, they have the right to feel proud, they have the right to brag about stuff. I don't necessarily think that everyone is necessarily superior or others are inferior. I mean, non-nerds have the right to brag about stuff, though everyone's kind of a bit nerdy these days. I mean, I guess, depending on how you define nerd, I mean, sports fans are nerds. They're nerds. They're just as crazy and obsessive as comic book nerds, and sci-fi nerds, and technology nerds. Well, not technology nerds, but pop culture nerds and sports nerds. They're very similar in terms of their obsession, except that one isn't considered nerdy, one is, so That's one of those weird double standards our society has. But yeah, no, I don't really feel comfortable defining people as inferior. I can define people as people I dislike, people who are my nemesises, but I don't really feel like talking about people being inferior, because we're all inferior at some things and superior at others. I'm a computer lab monitor for work study, and that job consists of me sitting at a computer. I put paper in the printer, I log in, and then I just do whatever I want on the computer for a couple of hours. So basically what I'd do if I wasn't working, only I'm paid for it, so that's awesome. As for my IQ, it's hard to capture because I've taken in a few tests, and they've been 4-part tests, and I've gotten very different scores in different parts, so they can't really average out a specific number and it to be accurate, but I guess on average it would probably be somewhere like in the 130s or something. I identify pretty strongly with Kenshin from Rurouni Kenshin. Don't worry, I have not killed anyone, but I still identify with the character. I don't really have a single whole intellectual or nerd mentor, but as far as people who've sort of inspired me, influenced me, I think as far as people I know in real life, my grandpa, I figure I get a lot of my Asperger's genes from him. He's very quirky, very nerdy, and I mean, like back when he was my age, he was hanging out at DC Comics and talking with Jack Kirby and getting autographs and stuff from him, so yeah, he's a nerd from way back. As far as people who I've had online in conversation with, Roger Ebert. Though, sorry Roger, you're wrong on a few things. Games are art, you need to learn that. Maybe not high art, but there is artistic value to be found within video games. Maybe video games themselves are not an art form, but they contain other art forms, and you need to learn to respect that and stop trolling people. It's not cool to troll people, Roger. And there's a lot of other people who I haven't gotten the chance to meet who have inspired me a lot, like Philip Pullman, writer of his Dark Materials trilogy, and J.K. Rowling, of course, and Hayao Miyazaki, Quentin Tarantino. There's my chibi Pulp Fiction poster behind me. And one person I actually did get to meet very briefly was the director of one of my favorite movies, possibly my favorite movie of all time, Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro. Oh, it was a talk that he was giving during the publication of the second of his Strain trilogy, and at the time he was still working on making Mountains of Madness, and I asked him to do a drawing of some concept art for the film for me, and he did this. He said he'd finish it when the time came around, and then I saw him again, and well, since then the movie's been cancelled, unfortunately, though apparently Prometheus is going to be very similar to Mountains of Madness, so I guess we're going to get something good out of that story. And he still hasn't finished it for me, so if I get picked and I go to LA and Guillermo del Toro's around in Hollywood somewhere, then he's going to have to finish that thing for me. More nerd stuff in my room. Okay, so yes, here's the Rei Ayanami. I had a crush on Rei Ayanami when I was 12 and first watching Evangelion, but then the ending of the show kind of killed her sex appeal pretty bigly. And there's the end of Evangelion poster over there. Stuntman Mike from Grindhouse. Motoko Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, whose sex appeal still holds. Poster for the Hitalia movie, Attack the Block poster, very good, underrated movie, which I got a signed poster, signed by the director and the producer and the lead actor. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Japanese poster. V for Vendetta, which I know Alan Moore hates, but it's still very good movie. It was probably one of the movies that got me interested in politics when I was younger. And Pulp Fiction, Fruits Basket, very inspiring show. And some of my books of various sorts, and DVDs. These, of course, Adventure Time Comic-Con action figure. And this is only a small selection of the stuff I own because I could only bring so much stuff to college, and also a lot of stuff of mine is like the family stuff. We all share a lot of similar interests in my family, so we all like a lot of the same nerdy things, and that's pretty cool. Is Mark Zuckerberg a jerk? I guess I don't really know much about the real Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, he seemed like a jerk in the movie, which was a very good movie, by the way. It should have beaten King's Speech at the Oscars. I have a girlfriend. Her name's Lisa. She's wonderful. We met in high school in anime club, and we started going out in December of last year. I asked her out at a maid cafe, which was pretty funny, and I'm not a virgin. Star Wars or Star Trek? Doctor Who. Now, I haven't watched that much Star Trek, but I'm familiar with Star Wars, and the prequel trilogy sinks things a lot, and the original trilogy, it's good, it's really good, but it never made me cry or give me nightmares, and it doesn't make me laugh as much as Doctor Who does. And Doctor Who, I was falling in love with that show. It's amazing, especially David Tennant. David Tennant's run was great. I miss him. I haven't been able to read as fun for much lately due to lots of reading for school, but I was able to get around to reading Ubik by Philip K. Dick, it was really entertaining. And it's like 3 different of the craziest Futurama episodes in one book. I'm sure it inspired a lot of them. And I've also been reading the manga series House of Five Leaves, which is samurai stuff, though not action-packed, more of a character study, and it's quite good. Very interesting art style, Natsume Ono. Hopefully as a writer, as a filmmaker, as an artist, I'll be able to make a positive impact in the world. I'll perhaps teach people to be less jerkish to each other, and until then, I guess just to entertain people, and I don't know, I could teach them all the lyrics to Yakko's World from Animaniacs. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Guinea, El Salvador, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and Seal, Guatemala, Bolivia, Argentina, Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and Guyana, Barbados, and Guam, Norway, and Sweden, Iceland, and Finland, Germany now in one piece, Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey, and Greece, Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran, there's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, Yemen, Kuwait, and Bahrain, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, Portugal, France, and England, Denmark, and Spain, India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, Bangladesh, China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippines, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, Borneo, and Vietnam, Tunisia, Iraq, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana, Republic of Lesotho, and Malawi, Togo, the Spanish Sahara is gone, Nigeria, Chad, Liberia, Egypt, Benin, Gabon, Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, and Mali, Sierra Leone, Algeria, Dahomey, Namibia, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, Zaire, Ethiopia, Guinea, Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Mayor, and Cayman, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi, Triu, Serbia, Crete, Mauritania, then Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein, Moldova, Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sudan, doo-doo. Yeah, you have to put me on the show after that. Oh, and also because I know this is PBS, and Turner owns TBS and also owns Adult Swim. If they haven't gotten the message yet, bring back Toonami.